So I'm gonna just start recording. Hey, Freedom Frugalers! It's time for an episode of Frugal Freedom, where you learn how to become more frugal in your finances and in your time so that eventually you have freedom in both. Okay? I am your virtual mentor, Izzy, and this is the kickoff for my ever first ever video uh, on my live stream for the Frugal Freedom channel, and we're kicking off a no discipline budget series. Woo! All right. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube Live, welcome. Okay. Today we're going to be learning about what a budget actually is and what it is not. All right. Like I said, this is a live session, so I will be stopping at certain times to answer some of your questions. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. But before we get started, make sure you grab my free budgeting worksheet. It's a simple step-by-step budgeting guide that walks you through an easy way to budget and still have fun. Whether you're low on income or looking to pay down debts or even figuring out how to justify your nights and weekends out, this guide will certainly help you, and it is the cornerstone of everything that I will be teaching within the next few videos. The link is in the description below. All right, let's talk about what is a budget, okay? So a budget, in its simplest form, is a way for someone like you, someone like me, to capture how much money is coming in and allocating what that money goes towards and how much at the end of the month leaves our accounts and our wallets. Okay, so hopefully this is our accounts. All right. If you do it right, a budget will allow you to spread your money wisely. Okay, this will mean that you're able to afford your expenses, have a savings fund or two or three, and eventually work up to investing to make more money. All right. The bottom line is everyone who has money or deals with money, this includes businesses and even the government, they have a budget and they have to do a budget to determine where the company, or in this case the country, where we're at, and determining our future success. All right. So a budget really sounds good and it looks good on paper, but we as humans, we tend to have a couple of issues when it comes to budgeting. All right. Number one is, and this sort of kind of like some issues that I've had, and then I've noticed other people had when it came to budgeting. Okay. Number one, we don't like the idea of budgeting, so we don't stick to it. Okay. Humans, we're not built to be controlled or disciplined, in our thinking. We're built as free thinking creatures. And when we have things like a budget that limits our thinking and our creativity and what we can do, in a sense, control us, we don't like to stick to things like that because it's hard. A budget is hard. But another thing is we don't budget according to our financial situation. Okay, this is going to be our pay period. So a lot of times the standard is budgeting for the month, when in actuality you get paid 1 to 2 times a week. All right. So you need to be, or 1 to 2 weeks, excuse me. So we need to be budgeting according to our pay period. Another thing is when we write our budget, we like to cut out certain things that we like. In other words, we sacrifice fun. Okay. When in actuality, we need to be mindful of the things that we spend in our daily lives and just adding that to the budget. All right. Just because you like Starbucks and people tell you, oh, you need to cut out Starbucks, a budget doesn't mean that you have to cut out Starbucks. All right. It just means that if you like Starbucks, write it in and limit how much you can spend on it. Okay. temporarily, by the way. Another thing that we don't budget according to is unexpected expenses. And I had this happen to me actually last Friday, last Wednesday, excuse me. And I thought I had like a month after, but apparently I didn't. My tire went flat. Okay, but I prepared for it. I knew that it was going to go flat, but what I ended up doing was I ended up having some money set aside for just in case it went flat. And sure enough, last Wednesday it went flat. But if I didn't have that money, God knows how long it would have been until I was able to have a car again. But by Saturday, everything was fixed, and now I'm back on the road. Okay. The last issue that we have with budgeting is we figured that we have too little to budget with, or in most cases, we're working with minimum wage or a lower income than we want. So we just spend what little we have to survive, and quote unquote little. We spend what little we have to survive, and that's a horrible way to think about budgeting, or even think about spending money. Okay, in actuality, you want to be spending, you want to be budgeting with little income. Okay, that's the time. That's the most crucial time that you need to be doing that. So now that we got all of these ideas of our issues with budgeting out the way, let's get rid of some preconceived notions. Okay, let's get rid of it all. Let me tell you what a budget is not. Okay, a budget is not a sacrifice of having fun. Let me say that louder for the people in the back. A budget is not a sacrifice of having fun, nor does it mean that you have to live on beans and rice. It just means that if you like spending, you figure out a way to incorporate it in your actual expenses. Then if you find that you spend more of it, trim it down. Okay. I don't have a Netflix account. I don't have a Hulu account. I don't have any of those things. I would love to sit and watch TV, but it costs me. Or I would love to sit and watch these things, but it costs me to do that. Uh, and right now, my goal is to pay off some of my debt. So I'm allocating all of my money towards paying off those debts, which we'll get into later on. But a budget is not for writing down expenses and saving money. So it's not just for doing those things, okay? When we do a budget, we are literally finding ways that we can either save our money or invest our extra money. Be it that we're looking to pay down debt, we're looking to invest to make more money, but regardless, we're trying to find some extra money so that we can allocate that towards living a more free life. Okay, a budget is not something that you just write about. Okay, it must be applied with great diligence. Okay, when you go to write down your budget, and I'm talking to me. Okay, I'm definitely talking to me. So when you go to write down your budget, uh, I write mine in many places, but you don't want to just write about it and then let life happen. Okay, you need to be applying your budget with great diligence. All right, and that brings me to my last point of what a budget is not. The last thing is a budget is not a set it and forget it ordeal. You will continually have to adjust and reevaluate your budget. Okay, sometimes I find myself up to payday readjusting my budget. All right, but regardless, when things happen in your life, unexpected expenses happen. It does not mean that you have to stick to the budget that you wrote. Just rewrite it, revise it, whatever you need to do to make sure things make sense in the world. You need to be continually adjusting and reevaluating. And uh, in my guide, I talk about having a weekly analysis review where you check your account on a weekly, not monthly basis, but checking that weekly and adjusting your budget accordingly. Okay, so that's all I have for this video, guys. I hope this helps. If you're on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And comment down below and let me know if you budget your money. Do you think it's frustrating? Or is this your first time learning about budgeting altogether? And if it's your first time, my friend, I would love to take you on this journey for the next 10 days. All right. Regardless, I want to know. And also, if you have any other topics you would like me to cover, I'm happy to see those below as well. Before you go, be sure to get a copy of my budgeting worksheet sent directly to you. Again, the link is in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video where I talk about why budgets are very important. Stay frugal until you're free. Peace. Yeah.